Hello, Dr. Rita. Thank you so much for that gracious call. I am Two-Star Director Rhonda Coleman, and I want to welcome everybody to the Roads to Gold call. I want to first check and see, do we have that dynamic leader, Miss J.P. Watkins, on the back line. She is a $500,000 earner, fastly approaching her 5-star mark. She wears that Rolex watch, indicating that she is well on her way, and she is out here helping families around the world. She has thousands of people on her team worldwide, even in the UK. And Ms. Watkins, do I have you on the line?
Yes, Director Coleman, I want to say I am here. You said nothing about yourself, but you are definitely blazing a trail as a 2-star director with a huge team of individuals, highly sought-after trainer and coach. Everybody wants a piece of you because they know how hard you work around the planet and on your way to 3-star director. How are you feeling today?
I am absolutely amazing, Ms. Watkins. Thank you so much for that edification. I'm going to dive right into our topic today, and I think it's really befitting because of our contest that we have going on, that everyone understands the proper way to do a 3-way call. I think that we really missed the mark on that, not realizing that if you do a proper 3-way call, along with the edification process, that is one of your more powerful tools, Ms. Watkins. And what do you think about that topic?
Oh, the 3-way call is the most underutilized tool in network marketing, and it is the secret weapon. Anytime you get third-party validation, it only puts notches on your belt. See, sometimes people think that we're making them do 3-way calls, Director Coleman, because we want to be mean, or we make it feel like the dentist office. People are like, why are they making me do this? Because people don't understand the psychology of a 3-way call. See, as leaders, we understand your friends don't listen to you as much as you think they do. They don't even respect you as much as that you think they do. But if you properly edify someone else, you're going to increase your closing ratio by 5,000%. So there's an art to it. There's a way to do it. And you have to learn this skill if you want to make money in network marketing.
You're absolutely correct, Ms. Watkins. And I'm going to dive right into it. When you guys are out here doing these 3-way calls, you want to make sure that you are asking your prospects specific questions so that you can prepare the person that's doing the 3-way call. You want to know where that person is from. You want to know, why do they want to do a business? Are they married? Do they have kids? You want to make sure you're identifying those things so that the 3-way call goes so smoothly. Most people don't have conversations with the person to get to know them before they try to dive into that 3-way call, Ms. Watkins. And I think it's so important that we start getting out of our own way and talking more to people and listening to what they're saying so that we can get those questions answered properly when we get the person on the phone. What do you think?
Well, Coleman, the formula is build rapport, expose, and close. It's not expose, then close. So if we would just build the rapport, then we would find out that somebody lived in a certain city. I ask people all the time, Director Coleman, well, what does such and such do for a living? I don't know. How are you recruiting somebody you don't know what they do for a living? You don't even know if they can afford this business. I mean, you know, it's like the basic stuff. Like, you got to audition these people, Director Coleman, because sometimes when I get to talking to folks, I realize, you know what, I don't know if I want to do business with this person, you know, because maybe there just is something that I just don't. Everybody doesn't qualify to do business with you. Sometimes people are not a good business fit. This is a business. And so sometimes, Director Coleman, we see a need in people, but sometimes people don't see a need in themselves. They don't have those qualities. So let's talk a little bit about qualifying people. Can we dive into qualifying people, Director Coleman?
Yes, ma'am, we sure can. When you're qualifying these people, you know, Ms. Watkins, I really feel like as you're qualifying somebody, you want to know, do they have children? You want to know, are they homeowners? If they are homeowners, there's some stability there. Are they married? They're not afraid of commitment. What is their age? There's a complete difference between somebody's age when they're starting a business. Because if you have somebody 18 or 19, very seldomly will you find them very attracted to a business model. They're still trying to find themselves. So they may not be ready to do a business. They may be looking for a job. So you want to make sure that you're asking those specific questions when you're trying to get somebody on the line for a three-way and prospect that person. You want to make sure you're diving in so you know exactly who you're dealing with. Instead of just, I think, Ms. Watkins, people don't realize that there's a difference between recruiting somebody and having a conversation with them and then spamming them. Because they're so used to just putting stuff in somebody's inbox and walking away instead of actually trying to get to know that person and have a conversation to find out, can they even make a $200 decision? Back to you, Ms. Watkins.
Excellent point. We qualify that as champs. Champs are children, homeowners, age 25 or older, M, married, P, professional. And you can even put the S on there, successful. So champs, get that down. But there are also other methods of qualifying. We call it ones, twos, and threes, Director Coleman. Ones are people who look up to you. People who look up to you are not the best people to prospect. Why? Because those people are typically at a weaker state in their life. Many times they are financially less well off than you. They have less confidence than you do. Number ones may not have a circle of influence. So when you go to prospect a number one, it's hard for them to duplicate themselves. Now, if you go for a number twos are your peers. They're exactly like you. They are on your level. So number twos are going to typically have what you have. They're exactly how you are. Number threes are the best to prospect. Number threes are people you look up to. So if you're in a state where your finances are, a little unstable, or you want to grow as a person, number threes have more than you have. They probably have more influence, more money, maybe even more professional skills. And again, that's why the three-way call is necessary, because maybe you're not where they are, but you're putting them on the phone with somebody who's where they are. So you can still get a big fish even if you're not there if you utilize a three-way call. And lastly, Director Coleman, we talk about four checkers. Four checkers is another way to qualify your list. They are people who are, number one, coachable, check. Listen, the person can have the most influence in the world. The person can be all that in a bag of chips, but if they're uncoachable, you can't do anything with them. They are going to shut down everything you say, and it's going to be an unproductive vibe every time you try to work with a person. Anytime people say, well, just call my people for me, or just do this or do that, you're not their maid, you're not a telemarketer, you are here to assist. And if somebody doesn't come with a sense of humility, it's going to be hard. So coachability is number one. Number two, can they afford to do the business? You need to have enough business sense, acumen, that you are figuring out if someone has the money. I can't stress that enough. Like, you cannot go for the brokest people you know, because you're going to get frustrated with your business if you cannot find people who have access. Now, I didn't have $200. It was hard. I was in between blessings, but I had access to $200. I could, at minimum, borrow the money, Director Coleman. So, if the person can at least get access, that's the second check. The third check, Director Coleman, is that person influential? Do they have any influence? If they have a launch call, will people get on? If they have a Zoom, will anybody listen? If they're doing a watch, chat, travel, can they get people to look at it? So you want to kind of talk to people who have a little, you're kind of looking at their Facebook page, do they good if you like? If they post something, are people paying attention? So you want to be paying attention to the level of influence. Now, can you recruit someone who doesn't have that check? Yes. But at least you're working at ground zero. And the last check is, are they a self-starter? Are they a self-starter? If they are the person who takes initiative, again, you can't have people that every time something goes on, they are second-guessing everything. They're asking questions every move they make. Listen, questions are good, but sometimes, Director Coleman, you got to figure it out. You got to just take a chance. You got to just get out there. Everything is not going to be ironed out, perfect. This is the jungle. And so you got to figure some stuff out. Sometimes people ask me questions that I know they can figure out on their own, and I won't even respond because I don't want to say, you are in business. You've got to figure it out. You have to be a self-starter if you want to make it. If I know I can figure it out, I'm not asking Mr. Bradley. I'm not. If I know I cannot figure it out, I will ask him. But you got to take the initiative. Mr. Bradley called me when I first got started, Director Coleman. He said, listen, I want you to be on this call. It happens every morning at 7 a.m. in your Central Standard Time zone. And that's another thing. Oh, Lord, if you're calling me for a three-way, don't call me and tell me about your time zone. Anyway, I digress. Director Coleman, he said to me, he said, be on this call every day. And so, Director Coleman, I said, I've been on that call all week, Mr. Bradley. He said, how did you know? I said, well, I was looking in the back office, and it said events, and it listed the call. He said, so you've been on the call all week? I said, yes, sir. That is a self-starter, somebody who they are looking at the app. They see the events that are taking place. They're getting on the Millionaire Mentorship call. They're writing down everything Kevin Williams is saying. They're asking their coach, what are some things I can do? What's going on around the planet? And they're plugged into everything they can get their hands on. I don't have to worry about Libra Murphy. I don't. I mean, she beats me knowing stuff. And no wonder why she's at the top of the leaderboard. The same way with you. I talked about you to Latoya Mayberry, and I was talking about how amazing you are as a person. And she said, I see Rhonda on everything. And I know, isn't that awesome? Because she's just a self-starter. So those are the four checkers that really, really can add value to your organization. Director Coleman, back to you.
Thank you, Ms. Watkins. And those are some great key points. And I definitely want to touch on one, that self-starter. I mean, guys, you are in business for yourself, not by yourself. So therefore, as soon as you get your website, you are excited to get started with this business. So you should be ready to dive in and click everything so that you know your business. You know where everything is. There's a saying in this industry, mind your business. You definitely want to make sure you're minding your business and jump in and get you an 8x10 calendar so that you know where everything is at and you can go directly to it and not have to ask about the little minute things because you already know where they are. I want to definitely touch on some key factors when it comes to the proper way of doing a PS3 call. Guys, know how to work your phones. Know how to get the other person on the other end of that three-way call. You should be calling your prospect first, asking those questions. What did they like best about the information they saw? Find out some things about them. You should already know these things ahead of time before you get your upline on the phone. Ms. Watkins, that is one of the things in this industry that I know a lot of people struggle with, but practice with one of your family members, your kids, on how to properly do that three-way call. As Ms. Watkins stated, we are not telemarketers. We shouldn't be calling anyone, and they shouldn't be calling us. The prospect knows you. They have built a relationship with you. You should be doing an introduction. So therefore, you should already have them on the line. What do you think about that, Ms. Watkins?
Word, Director Coleman. Because sometimes people will get frustrated with the whole process, right? And in the beginning, it's a little rocky. Sometimes, now, I didn't know it was but sometimes merging the call can be challenging for some people. I don't know if it's their phone service provider or they just don't know how to click. I don't know exactly. But then they go, well, can you just call them for me? Absolutely not. That defeats the purpose of a three-way call. The three-way call, Director Coleman, is an effort to raise their level of respect for the speaker. And so if you have the speaker calling your people, they're like, hey, I am such and such's upline. It's just a horrible terrible. No, you got to do the edification. You got to make them respect your speaker. You're defeating it for yourself. You're not defeating it for me. I'm trying to help, you get the recruit, right? And so if we mess that whole thing up, if the edification is, sloppy, the merge is sloppy, the whole thing is a mess, that the prospect is noting that in their mind, oh, Lord, they ain't got this together. And so they're thinking in their mind, do I even want to be a part of something? Because are they going to make me do this? Is this going to be a headache for me? So you have to think that they're consciously looking at every move you make, and they're thinking, if this process is hard for you, it's going to be hard for me. So you got to really raise your level of professionalism so that it's a smooth transition, right? And everything moves smoothly. Now, are there times you call your leader and your leader is finishing up another three-way or whatever, they don't pick up the phone? Yes. That happens, guys. It happens to me and Mr. Bradley. He can't control if a call goes long or whatever. So sometimes I will say to my prospect, give me 5 seconds, give me 5 minutes, and I'll text Mr. Bradley, hey, are you ready? He'll say in the middle of, call me back, and we'll communicate, but it's okay. That's part of it. People get frustrated with that. They can't get a hold of their leader, and all of a sudden, three ways don't work. Guys, you got to roll with it. We're in the jungle. You got to keep your emotions where they need to be because you need to do this three-way call. Director Coleman.
Yes, ma'am. And I am going to jump right into topic number 2 since you said that. Texting, guys, make sure that 10 minutes before that call, you have text your upline. You have found out something about the person that's doing your three-way call. You do not want to get on a three-way call and say, John, this is Tanya. Tanya, this is John. Because John don't know Tanya, and John's not going to have no respect for Tanya because you don't. So make sure that you're edifying before that call. Make sure that you're texting and giving some kind of information about the person that we're going to be doing that three-way call with so that we have a better understanding of what we're going into. And if you can't get somebody on the line, as Ms. Watkins stated, don't get frustrated about it because we are going to handle the call for you. There's no need for you to call back to back to back. Just send the text message, and I promise you we're going to get to that call. Ms. Watkins, I'm going to jump right into topic 2. And, this one right here to me is a no-brainer, but it still needs to be touched on. Guys, the most important thing you can do once that edification process is done is you want to mute your phone. Mute out. That's so important that you don't jump in and interrupt that conversation. We never want people to feel like we're badgering them into doing something because they have 2 or 3 people talking at them at the same time. So we want to make sure that we've done our edification properly. We're going to mute out after we've edified the upline. And it's not that you're tooting our horn. You want that person to have a level of respect for the person that's doing that call the same way you should have because this is business. So you always want to mute your phone and just take copious notes. You don't have to remind us to say anything. Well, you didn't tell them about the golden ticket. Well, you didn't tell them about the monthly fee. I promise we're going to get to all of that. So you just have to mute and take notes. Become a sponge. Become a student. Back to you, Ms. Watkins.
You could not have broke that down better. You really couldn't. Again, it's a psychology behind everything we're talking about. There is a psychology behind everything we're doing. And people who are in the industry of network marketing who are making millions of dollars have learned to duplicate this at a very high level. And when we get it, when we just understand, and I remember starting out 10 years ago in the industry, and I remember my upline saying, if you don't listen to the edification training that this young lady, she was a trainer on edification, he said, I sent you a CD. Remember we used to use CDs and video cassette tapes and everything? And he said, I sent you the CD. Did you listen? I said, no, I ain't had time. He said, I can tell because the way that you edify, the way that you're doing these calls is just, it's not professional, Ms. Watkins. And I was like, oh, and I was thinking, he said, I can't work for you. And when I understood that he was honestly trying to work for me, of course he gets paid if I get paid. That's the beauty of it, because he's doing the work. But he was trying to help me have more success. So, ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this training is that you have more success. You know, each and every one of us can always grow. But if you get this part right and you really learn to edify, really paint that picture, now you don't have to go on and on for hours and days in the edification. Just make sure it's strong. You know, make sure it's strong. I don't need to go on and on and on, and it's a whole, 60 seconds worth of edification. You know, that may be drawn out. But as long as you say, this person that I'm introducing you to loves to help people, boom, loves to make money, boom, has 100% of the information, boom, and is going to, help you, love to have fun, Director Rhonda Coleman. And ask your leader, how do you like to be addressed? What is your preference? Because I tell people my preference. I'll let them know. I'm coach, I'm miss, I'm whatever, because we're not friends like that in the business, right? We're cool. We all love each other. But in business, your prospect's not going to respect me, JP, this is Sam, this is JP. That is going to make them lose respect. But if you're comfortable with people calling you by your first name, tell your team that. Tell them, I don't care. That's not my thing. And your team will know how to address you. I tried to call Andy Kaufman, Mr. Coffin, and he doesn't really like it. He likes Andy. That's what he likes. So Mr. Bradley, not the same, not the case. He likes Mr. Bradley. So you got to figure out, what does somebody want to be addressed as? Director Coleman, I know that's something that, you like Director Coleman, you like Coach Coleman or something to that effect. Am I correct?
You're absolutely correct, Ms. Watkins. And it's not, again, one of those things where I want somebody to toot my horn. It's just a level of respect, because the person that you are prospecting, you don't want them to feel like the person you're bringing on the line to them doesn't know anything about this business. So it really helps us to get our point across to them, because a person that's done a thing can teach a thing. So that person realizes they're not just talking to any average person, your sideline business partner. They're talking to somebody that is documented, that has been in the industry, and that knows what they're talking about, so they can really get those questions answered correctly. So those are some great points. And I'm going to jump right into our last topic, guys. No need to reinvent this wheel. Get good at edification. It will seal the deal. So the proper way to do a three-way call, you're going to propose some information to your prospect. You're going to qualify that prospect. You're going to go through your edification process. You're going to schedule the appointment, and you're going to execute. And that way you will have a proper three-way call. And Ms. Watkins, I'm going to let you close us out with some words, and we will get into what we have planned for the day.
Well, you know what? I don't think anything else needs to be said, Director Coleman. This call has been responsible, very responsible. I think that whoever was on today has a better understanding of making that list. There are some people who really struggle in their first week here because they did not have a list. They were randomly just posting stuff on Facebook, hoping for a response. And if people respond to engagement posts, great. But write it down in a list. If you don't like to write stuff, put it on an Excel spreadsheet. Or however you like to collect data, but your list is your money. Your list is how you work it. If you don't write that down or have that in a database, Director Coleman, how in the world are you going to follow up? And the other thing that I saw that many teams were doing is they didn't get agreement for the video to happen. They didn't set appointments. So they were sending out videos, but people weren't really watching them. And they definitely didn't follow up for a three-way call because they didn't really agree to get the video in the first place. So there was no real rapport building. There was no agreement there. Guys, this is relationship building 101. You get paid for finding epic people. You get paid for building relationships. You get paid for healing a hurt. So find out who they are, what they want, what they need, and show them how you can fix it for them. Show them how you can really, really step in and introduce something to their lives that can help them to win. And more importantly, make sure those people are ready to do business, because we're here to do business, and we want each and every one of you to be successful. So thank you, Director Coleman, for an awesome and responsible call.
Thank you so much, Ms. Walker, for joining me. Guys, we're going to get ready for our leadership mastermind tonight. That was a private invite, for our goal bidders and above. So make sure you get with your upline and get that information so that you can be on. The corporate atmosphere today is Planet Marketing has a live event that's going to be going on Facebook at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. You want to make sure that you get your guests invited. Definitely keep utilizing the website that the upline has put in place for you and stay plugged in. And I think to end this call today, what we're going to say to everybody is, what do you think is good, Ms. Watkins? Kind of got stuck right there.
I don't know. I don't know. This call has been so awesome. What should we say? Coach P, Coach Cindy, y'all on the back line? I don't know.
You know what? I think we should close out with posture up on your three-way.
Posture up on your three ways. I love it.
Posture up on your three ways.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Okay, guys, this has been your Road to Go.